In today's Daily Dish, breaking down the outcomes from the NBA 2K15 versus NBA Live 15 player face comparisons, previews of the next Press Row podcast and live Hangout. A new golf club blog discusses the need for the handicap system before introducing a career mode. A new mobile game called NBA All Net is out, and catching up on the latest Black Friday info. The results for the player face comparisons between NBA 2K15 and NBA Live 15 went up on Pastapadre.com today. 30 faces were up against each other, and 2K15 won out rather easily. Both companies touted their head scanning process and the accuracy in likenesses, but 2K15 ultimately backed it up far better than Live. Over 120,000 total votes were cast through the process. NBA 2K15 won 22 of the 30 face-offs, most of which were in dominating fashion. The game carried 6 of them at 87% or higher, flat out embarrassing Live in those instances. The average margin of victory was 76%. Live won its 8 pairings with a 64% average. The game had one standout, cover athlete Damian Lillard, that drew 84%. Otherwise, its victories were closer in nature than the majority of 2K15's. Only one matchup went down to the wire, and that was with Marc Gasol, which 2K15 won with barely 51% of the vote. The most interesting surprise might be 2K14 cover athlete LeBron James. He was taken by NBA Live. Rookies were easily won by 2K15. Sadly, both games do a pretty poor job with a number of players, whether that's due to a lack of face scanning on them or simply not prioritizing their likenesses. In a number of cases, voters expressed a desire to have voted for neither as an option. Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook, Ricky Rubio, and Dirk Nowitzki shouldn't be awful in either game, let alone both of them. So there you have it. I think it was pretty fascinating to see how they all turned out. Live nailed a few players, but 2K15 did far better across the entirety of the league. Check out all the numbers and breakdowns at the site. I've linked to it in the YouTube description and the Daily Dish posting. Looking ahead to upcoming podcasts and hangouts, a special Press Row podcast will go up tomorrow that centers discussion on how sports games are treated by both critics and consumers. With the mess some AAA games are making at release, it's interesting to examine how sports games are viewed in a different fashion, seemingly by both sides. Follow the Press Row podcast on iTunes or Stitcher for Android. Then on Saturday night, look for a live Press Row Hangout/Dodcast crossover event with talk about a lot of stuff happening in the gaming industry in general. The controversy over embargoes and everything related to Assassin's Creed Unity, the botched launch of Halo Master Chief Collection, primarily with the matchmaking difficulties, and some early impressions on Pro Evolution Soccer 2015 and Lego Batman 3. You can RSVP for the Hangout or simply follow along with the event link dropped in the YouTube description and the Daily Dish posting. HB Studios released a new blog for the golf club today that talks more about the recently announced handicap system being worked on for the next feature update. Interestingly, it seems that a career mode has been confirmed for the game to come at a later date, given that justification for the handicap system is attributed partially to needing it to make career mode enjoyable. So that's some exciting news to know that it's on the horizon, even if it's quite a ways off. There's also feedback being sought on how to deal with straight shooters, which is something I had never even thought about before. Apparently some people have augmented their controllers to make it so shots always go straight. I wouldn't have imagined that would be a thing, but with the social aspect of the game, competitive balance and all that comes into play, so they're seeking out a solution to make things the most fair. A new mobile game arrived today for iOS, an NBA-licensed card-based game called NBA All Net. The free-to-play model has been the trend as of late for anything sports or somewhat sports-related on mobile. It's worked for some, with microtransactions raking in more revenue than an upfront cost would bring in. NBA All Net features 500 current or former players from the league, the ability to relive highlights from careers, weekly tournaments and leagues, and of course collecting and upgrading cards to improve teams. The game is up on iTunes for iOS, but also there on Google Play for Android for some unknown region or regions. The press release states that it won't be out on Android until November 26th in North America. So if it tells you the app is incompatible with your devices, apparently that is why. Briefly, some more Black Friday related news. Early advertisements have revealed games like Madden NFL 15, FIFA 15, NHL 15, and NBA 2K15 will go for $30 at Best Buy and $35 at Walmart and Target. Amazon will likely price match at one price point or the other, with lightning deals on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Also, some news came out today that Walmart will be price matching Amazon for presumably everything coming up. So if you find an item for cheaper at Amazon and happen to be in Walmart, you'll be able to get it there as well for the same price. And that does it for today's Daily Dish. Make sure to visit Pastapadre.com, which is updated every day with all the latest sports gaming news and analysis. Follow me on Twitter at Pastapadre and subscribe on YouTube. I'll be back tomorrow with the next Daily Dish.